This topic seems so freaking crazy, right? But I got to tell you, the first client that I ever had that came to me with this issue was in 1986. 1986 was the first time that I had anyone come to me and say, David, I ended a relationship a month ago or whatever it might have been, and I'm really having a hard time letting this person go mentally, spiritually, sexually, emotionally, psychologically. And I said, well, tell me about the relationship. And she told me the relationship, had been going on for like 6 years. And there were pockets that they were good, but for the most part, it was very much consistent arguing and disagreeing and breaking up and getting back together and all that kind of stuff that so many of us unfortunately go through, right? But I sat there sitting there thinking in the first session, like, this is not withdrawal. This can't be withdrawal from an unhealthy, who has withdrawal from an unhealthy relationship? And then over the next 7 days, I started thinking about it, before I met with her again. And I started thinking, wait a minute, this is the form of an addiction, right? And all addictions have withdrawal. So if you stayed with someone that you shouldn't have been with 6 years, that creates an addictive mindset, right? A codependent mindset, whatever words you want to use. So then all of a sudden it dawned on me in 1986, oh my God, this woman is correct. She's going through withdrawal from an unhealthy relationship. Now, this still happens to this day. About 6 months ago, I got a gentleman that came in and he said, David, I just don't know what's going on. We've had 10 years together. It wasn't that good. And yet about every 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll tell you why this happens, one of the reasons why, I end up going back and texting and saying, hey, let's try it again. And we've been doing this dance for now 2 years, and it never works more than a couple weeks. And, if it wasn't for the woman in 1986 that introduced me to the fact that there could even be withdrawal from unhealthy relationship breakups, I wouldn't have been able to help her or this man. She opened my mind more than anything. So why do we go back? Why do we have withdrawals? Why do we have withdrawals from a relationship that doesn't work, that hasn't been healthy? And I'm not talking about one that hasn't been healthy for 30 days. I'm talking about years, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30 years. Why do we have withdrawal? Why do we have a craving to either see that person or speak to that person or text that person or email that person or whatever it might be? So there's so many reasons. Number one is the subconscious mindset, right? So for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30 years, you have a pattern in your head that this is the person you go to share your joys or your frustrations or whatever it might be. And if you communicate on a regular basis quite a bit with this person, which most people do when you're in a relationship, right, that withdrawal can be very intense. There's a void, there's a hole. Like, what do? I normally call this person. I normally do this on weekends with this person. I normally have sex with this person, whatever it might be. And it's gone. And so the mind, listen, the body, listen, the spirit, listen, the soul has to go through withdrawal from the addicted relationship. The relationship may have been 40% great and 60% not great. It doesn't matter. If it was 90% not great, you can still have withdrawal. Okay, so number one is just a subconscious pattern. The repetition of being in this person's life can make it very difficult to cut the cord when you know you need to cut the cord. Number two is oxytocin, that powerful bonding hormone. If you have been intimate, of course, most people in relationships are intimate, right? And if sexuality is a big part of your life and a big part of your partner's life, then that oxytocin, which is released every time you make love, goes through withdrawal. It's like heroin. You're using heroin on a regular basis, and then you stop, you're going to go through withdrawal. You're having sex on a regular basis, which releases that oxytocin, right? And then all of a sudden you're not having sex with that person and you go through withdrawal. And then all of a sudden you're sending a text and you're going, oh my God, I miss this person so much. And you do, and there's no doubt about it, but it's probably because of either the sexuality with the oxytocin withdrawal or the withdrawal from the communication and having a partner, having someone to go out to dinner with, having someone to go to movies with, all that kind. This all comes into play of why we have withdrawal. And then the last thing I'm going to say is peer pressure. Especially for women. Oh my God. Women who are not in a relationship or they're in one and then they get out of one, then their friends and family are saying, oh my God, you're the greatest catch in the world. How can you be single? There's a great guy out there. And then this person's going through withdrawal. And if they decide to jump into a new relationship, they're going to bring their baggage from the last one into the new one. So this is just the beginning. Okay. If you need help, if you find yourself continuing going back to the person that you really shouldn't be with, or you find yourself going back to similar type people with similar type personalities or belief systems that never work for you, reach out to me. This stuff can be very, like it's breaking a heroin addict addiction, for God's sake. You know, I've been through it as well. Oh my gosh, there's been people I've dated that I probably shouldn't have, and it ended. And then I was the one that either reached out to them or they're the ones that reached out to me, and I said, okay. And then we went through the same dance again, right? So the most important thing to me, excuse me, in relationships is to have belief systems that are very similar or very close. Now, there's going to be some differences. One person might be really into sports, the other person might be really into theater, and they can go their separate ways, still be together, but do their own gig with their friends or whatever, right? But, you know, belief systems about money, belief systems about spirituality or religion, belief systems about sex, belief systems about honesty, integrity, etc. They all have to be fairly close together, especially the integrity, especially the intimacy, especially the financial belief systems. These things have got to be really solid. Now, you can have different faiths. It's been proven many times. You can have different nationalities, different races, and all of that stuff can be worked through. But some of these ones that I'm talking about, even communication skills, you have to be somewhat similar on the same line. If you're going back, or if you're returning, or you're thinking about going back to the same person that's never worked, reach out to me at talkdavid.com. Or if you're dating and it seems like it's the same person, different face, different name, I can help you there too, okay? Everything's at talkdavid.com, and we have discounts now because of inflation. 5 free books also at the website. Don't struggle alone. Get to the core of it. And then we can apply, after we go through all of our work together, we can apply that willpower to make sure that we don't return to a place we're not wanted. Sound good? I'm David Essel. Have a great day.